Let me go on a slow motion picture, bro.
You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second.
Come on, man.
They say they wanna get it wrong. These niggas claiming that they boss. These niggas better move it close. They say they get it wrong, move it close. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna get it wrong. I'm on my way. I'm coming up on my nose. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I'm from my hobby, going up like a rocket. Can't nobody stop me. These niggas got me. So watch your mouth, boy. I'm coming all black, slithering house, coming out, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Shorty like that, man, you turn up. Nothing I can handle. 144 with it, 4 Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. Swap in the corner like a bum with a bando. I'ma lead by example. Won't keep on stopping, got this bitch on the hand, got this bitch, got this drip, about to hit this bitch with the soul. It ain't rap, this is soul. Can't take a bitch, unless you with the coast. They say they wanna get it wrong. These niggas claiming that they boss. These niggas better move it close. They say they get it wrong, move it close.
I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settling seat. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's one west. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before the designer ain't no power than me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on the beat. Yeah, I get well done. Got the killers rolling with me and they all red rum, red rum, red rum. Got you fucking scared some. Hit the banging on his beat till my fucking head numb. Black, black, red drum, black and yellow air one. Homie, you ain't got a black, I suggest you wear one.
Going up, doing a lot of talking, everything, same shit.
Feeling like a legend in this shit, little nigga, I'm past veteran. Never been a third, little nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like ass catcher. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like a slight blessing. We all stepping, kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, what you doing like? These hands are root GPS, a mean right. That's mean right, we build different, you know the vibes. Everything is all fitted, we know the rhymes. I keep a 144 because I know a kind. Know it's dark, you know I'm with animals when we flow and ride. We back again, okay? When I'm with camp again. Yeah, they say they want smoking, so we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym.
They say they wanna get it wrong. These niggas claiming that they boss. These niggas better move it close. They say they get it wrong, move it close. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna get it wrong. I'm on my way. I'm coming up on my nose.
All right, for sure. Shalom Yahweh Shalom Yahweh Shabbarakatham to all of Israel, man. Check this out, man. This is the I.S.U.P.K Kentucky class. This is our law class where we come and we speak on topics and subjects, dealing with the law, letting y'all know every week that the law is not done away with. And that, of course, is according to Christ, according to the Bible, that these laws will never, ever be done away with. And it's something that we as Israelites have to follow for our whole life, man. It's what we do. When you look at the United States government, they got different committees, and one of the committees that they have is called Ways and Means. And that committee, does just that. They see the ways and means of them running their Congress. And their Constitution dictates that. We have that. We have a system. We have a Constitution. We have elders, man, who were much better congressmen and senators that provided us with the ways and means, of course, through the inspiration of the Most High. We have our own ways and means. We have our own Constitution, but for some reason, which we'll get into, we blindly follow those that cannot do anything but destroy us, even if they don't try. They destroy us when they so-called help us. So now you have the United States government revisiting voting. Yes, they are. In 2020, they are revisiting voting. You have the conservatives or the Republicans who want to restrict those that vote because they understand that good Negroes, good Hispanics, good natives, you're such a pawn. And that pawn becomes powerful, just like the game of chess, when used by the right people in their wicked game. So what they do is they constantly use Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians for their vote. You see what I'm saying? So the conservatives who get none of that vote are trying to restrict it by, once again, basically reenacting Jim Crow, making it as hard, if not impossible, for the people that they don't want to vote to not be able to vote. And it's 2021, man. This is what we used to say back in the day. We in Buck Rogers dates, man. I'll say we as a people have been fighting and fighting to fit in, to get the so-called laws or the so-called rights that you believe the Constitution affords you. But every year they teach you it doesn't. The ISUPK under Commander General Yohanna can teach you exactly how the Bible is your Constitution, exactly how the Bible is only written for you, especially for you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Bible is for you. The Constitution, we can prove also, was never meant for you. They tried to amend it, Salakia, but the spirit of it, it's still only for white people. So taking your vote away in the eyes of the majority of this country is not unconstitutional to them, because they know the Constitution has nothing to do with you. Just like the Bible has nothing to do with them. But us as a people will blindly follow those born to destroy us. Their ways, their spirit, everything about them is meant to destroy you. It's meant to weaken your man, effeminize him. It's meant to make the woman the head, which goes against the Bible. It's meant to make the Black man such a weak father and leader, man. Terrible leaders, terrible fathers, man. And their system is designed for that. If you follow their system perfectly to a T, you're going to be a weak Black man. period. You're going to be a weak Hispanic. You're going to be a weak Native Indian man. You're going to be weak because what you're doing is you're denying your constitution, your ways and means, your perfect example to be a father, to be a husband, to be a brother, to be a man, period. And you're going to follow the ways of your enemy, which is going to most definitely be certain destruction. A great Black Christian is a terribly weak Black man, a terribly evil Black woman, Hispanic, Native Indians. When I say Black, I am speaking of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people. Israelites are supposed to follow the Bible. The ISUPK since 1969 has been hammering and hammering this in. The Constitution will make sure your generations are on the bottom and destroyed, period. A few will get money. A few will get certain positions in the government. A few. But millions will die. And millions more will be destroyed on levels that only Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are destroyed. No other people are destroyed like this. We got so-called Arabs right now that are throwing rocks at tanks. Right now. In the so-called Middle East. And the other side is using fighter jets and, you know, the fairness of that battle is lopsided. But the Palestinians live better than Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, man. They have a government. They have Hamas. They have organizations. They have things that are for Palestinians and will die for them. They have their own neighborhoods. They have their own leaders. They have everything you don't have. Black, Hispanic, Native Indian man. They got it. Throwing rocks at a goddamn tank, man. Shooting unguided, basically Roman candles. Little old missiles that scar an apartment building, don't kill nobody, don't do nothing. The point I'm trying to make, though, is they have their own. They're not following the Israeli constitution and the Israeli ways. They follow their ways and they have their own. What do you do, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man? You follow the American way. You would actually follow the pagan ways over the ways that the Most High set for you and your people. What a gracious act. The Most High sees you so special that you have a way that is undefeated, thousands and thousands of years old, proven to work flawlessly for Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The ISUPK is the school of the day showing that. The time of Christ it was shown. The time of the prophets of old. It's always been shown that it's the way. When we don't do it, oppression, destruction. We want to be Egyptian. We want to be Syrian. We want to be Persian. We want to be everything but what we are. And it kills us, man. It destroys us as a people. We just passed Mother's Day. And the fact that our enemy can tell you when to love your mother should be such a defeat for someone who claims to love the Most High. It should be a great defeat. You see your mother every day. Every day you see your mother. But you're going to honor her when your enemy says honor her. The Bible says honor thy mother, thy father. Straight up, honor them. It should be a daily thing. It should not be once a year. But see, we blindly follow the ones here to destroy us. We don't understand that we're celebrating Maya, I believe, the mother goddess, where this all comes from. It comes from something, man. You're following the ways of the heathen and unknowingly, blindly worshiping paganism. You're worshiping paganism. You're going to have to suffer for that. And the reason why you have to suffer is, even if you're doing it blindly, the fact that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing allows that blind worship to destroy you, man, because you should know better. If it's a thing that the white man celebrates, you should know you should never celebrate it. It's not for you. There's something wrong with it. If you work for a company, let me give you an example. Let's say you work for a company that's they're paying you good. You're making $30 an hour. This company provides for you. You get the money, you get paid weekly, you're able to live a better life, you're able to, do things for your children that other people in your family couldn't fathom. But this company is secretly a KKK company which supports white supremacy, and we're going to get into a company like that later. They secretly support white supremacy. Yeah, you get your $30 an hour. Yeah, you're able to do the things you want to do because you're blindly supporting a white supremacist movement that is privately, secretly destroying you and your people. You can make any excuse you want to. It pays the bills, it does this, it does that. The truth of the matter is it destroys you and your people. So does Maya. So does the worship of Mother's Day. This is why there's so much death and destruction. Mass shooting after mass shooting. Gang violence, new gang beefs. Everything is happening in this time of May. Starting all the way, if you do your research, in February, which is supposed to be the love month, and you can actually go to January, which everyone in American society and Christianity just lies and come up with some crazy thing that they're not going to do no more, and they're doing it by February. See, you're blindly following it. If you don't know no better, it's not an excuse, because you're still not doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you're following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, and some secret group is doing something behind your back, you won't be affected by that because you're doing what the Lord wants you to do. The Lord's going to make sure you're protected from that scam. But if you're not, that blindly, I don't know, the ignorance of the law, the ignorance of this has no bearings, man. It doesn't work because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now, working for that same company is like celebrating Thanksgiving. Some of you may not know all of the history of Thanksgiving. I'll give you that. Those that do, that say it's just a family day, don't wonder why you and your people are destroyed. It's because you do those things. You blindly follow the ways of pagans, man. the ways of our enemy, the enemy of our God, man. Black people have been suffering in this country for hundreds of years. There is not a bill on the book that says if you do something against a black man, it is a hate crime. It just says if you do something against someone because of their race. But there's a bill that says if you do something hateful towards an Asian American, it's a hate crime. Doubled, tripled in some instances. They put you, your forefathers, our forefathers, to the back burner for homosexuality and Asians, man. Those groups are more important than you because you are a blind follower. They can count on you doing one thing, and that is always following them. The Democrats don't have to campaign for you because they know 98% of the vote is going to go their way as far as blacks. There's small groups of Cubans in Miami that go Republican, but most Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are Democrats blindly. So these voting laws are being put into place. This is the perfect opportunity for you to say, to hell with voting, man. And if I am going to vote, I'm going to vote for Christ to be my leader, man. I'm not voting for Kamala, whatever the hell her name is, who has the nerve, which I understand what she was saying, but stands up and says America is not a racist nation. It's not a racist nation because they voted in a woman of color. America's never had a problem with white or Indian women. When I say Indian, I mean East Indian women. That's who she is. Y'all so stuck on skin color that you look at her and you think that's a black woman. She's not black. Her lineage comes from white people and East Indians. That's why she's able to hold that office. A black man or woman cannot hold that office, y'all. I'm telling you. These secret groups like ALEC, which we'll get into in a minute, they will make sure of it. That's why Barack Obama won the presidency, because not only did they want to blame the economy and everything bad on a black face, but they knew he wasn't a son of a slave. They knew he wasn't black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. They knew he was not an Israelite, and they knew he was an African. This is why Harry Reid, the senator of Nevada at the time, said he could support Barack Obama because he has no Negro dialect. Look it up. He has no Negro dialect. He has nothing in common with Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, man. The first law he passed was for white women, the Ledbetter law. That was his first action. Then he helped homosexuals. He did nothing for black people. No black farmers, no none of that. And then we will blindly say he did it with health care. That helps black people. No, that helped everyone. Everyone. George Bush, Trump, all of the other presidents, they get in and they help their people, their specific people. Bush helped the farmers, the cowboys, the oil men. Trump helped the rich white people, the business, the private sector. His buddies, he helped them. But Obama's not your buddy. He did help his people. He helped all of those so-called people of color that wanted to get closer to white people, and he helped his homosexual community. I wanted to start this off by getting into the fact that our people blindly follow our oppressors. Blindly. We'll follow them off a cliff because our love for them trumps our love for the Most High. Period. And if you're a Christian, you love a white Jesus, that's a whole nother class. You're so concerned with the white man's law because the white man has tricked you into thinking your law, your constitution, your ways and means are done away with. You follow them now. So now standing in line, not being able to have no one bring you food or water coming up is more important than you getting in class and learning the ways and means of the Most High. To hell with the United States government, man. The United States government can give a damn about you. And they prove it every day. They prove it every day. They prove it constantly. But as the title says, we blindly follow the people born to destroy us, the people created to destroy us, the people that are here that even if they don't try, they will hurt and harm us. The fact that they're trying just makes it a massacre, man. A massacre. Let's read real quickly. Let's read the book of Ephesians. Chapter 6, and we're going to read 2 and 3. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live on the earth. Salakia. Mayest live long on the earth. Honoring your mother and your father, let's get into it, is a thing that you should do daily. And there's a reason why you should honor them, because your father and your mother should be honorable. They should deserve this honor. Us as black men, the most important thing that we should be trying to do right now is being a good warrior, a good priest, which in turn has many attributes. Great father, great brother, great husband, great warrior, great priest, etc. But being that great father is so important today because there is an assault on our children, man. There are black babies across this country, young children, man. I look outside this window and I see heathen kids and some, Israelite kids playing. And I just think, what type of society do we live in that we're able to go to sleep at night knowing thousands of children are missing? Thousands. In an Israelite society, the whole community would turn the earth over until they are found. And if someone harmed them, they will be punished. Let me tell you something, in biblical proportions in the kingdom, man. Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians would stone people to death, man. Disrespecting the Most High's order. Disrespecting a child. Disrespecting a fellow brother or a woman. But in this pagan society, we turn our show on and go to sleep. We're not worried about nobody, these kids missing. There's Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian children missing, man. Their parents don't know where they are. So one of these bastard animals took them. And we've become such a animalistic people, we're able to go to sleep. We're able to go to sleep because we live like them. We're not honoring our mothers and our fathers, taking it back to the Israelites, the ancient Israelites, our mothers and our fathers who lived for the Lord, who fought for the Lord. Let's not be the ones that failed. Let's be the ones that succeed. Let's be the ones that's worth honoring. Once again, being honorable. That's what that scripture wants from us and those under us. It's hard to respect, although you have to still respect your crackhead mother. It's difficult because you wish she was honorable. Honor her still. I don't care how much crack and box she sells and smokes and does all of that. Honor her anyway. But what you do is you break the cycle and you become that one that is honorable for your seed to honor. Let's go to the book of Exodus 20 and 12 real quickly. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. This is a big thing, man. Honoring our mothers and our fathers is a big thing. It's not a small thing. As we read, it is the first commandment with promise. I'm going to read that again. Ephesians 6, 2 and 3. Let me finish reading it. Salakia. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on earth. I had to read that again because we're going to get into some things, and I'm going to tie it back in to, I don't want to lose you, but I'm going to tie it back into what I said in the beginning. Following the government, because the white man has become your daddy. And you honor him. Not your father, not the Most High, not Christ. You're not honoring that aspect of fatherhood. You're honoring daddy, the white man, who gives you a $600 and a $1,400 check and unemployment. And you just love their society so much. You love everything about them. They tell you to wear a mask, you wear a mask. They tell you stay in the house, don't do this, go get the shot, whatever the case may be. Whatever they suggest to you, you consider it. I tell people all the time, if a prominent white man right now came and had a live broadcast, primetime TV, and say, you know what? I just found out that Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the true Israelites of the Bible. Every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian overnight, we'll have 30 million self-identifying Israelites because Daddy said you're an Israelite. Not Junebug, who is now got a Hebrew name, who came up out of the world, changed his life, and showing you a perfect example and showing you that the Lord has to be with him. He has to be telling the truth. If he tells you that, you don't want to listen because he's not your father. He's not the one you love. He looks like you. And you think you're nothing. So how the hell can he be anything? We are supposed to hold each other on such a high level because guess what? Deuteronomy 7:6 tells me you're chosen. You're greater than white people, man. You're greater than Africans. You're greater than Asians. You're better. Get over it. Quit fighting it. Quit thinking that you have to fight it. Niggas ain't shit. I live in Kentucky, man. Do you know how hard it is to live out here? And to be in Walmart, Kroger, any place of business, and have some old Negro slave in front of a bunch of white people say, us colored people need to get it together. Us colored people need to get it together. Black people ain't shit. That's heard around everywhere. You go to work, you hear it, you know there's somebody at work that can't wait to get around white people and say, you know, black folks be stealing, black folks ain't this, black folks that, we need to this, we don't care about each other, we don't know. Sit there and become a part of the problem, never the solution. Because they are in front of their parents. Subconsciously, they're in front of their parents. This is why a black man to get on the elevator like in front of white people, you know, showing every piece of ivory he got in his mouth, you know, trying to be a non-threat. That's what kids do to their parents. That's what little puppies do to their owners. They cur. That's what your child does. Sees his mommy and we are the white man's children, man. We have the most powerful father. The most powerful father. But we reject him and follow this bastard stepdaddy that came in our life through rape, murder, and pillage. When our father just wants us to follow his rules, his ways, his means, man. But you follow the white man's ways and means. Blindly. Some arrogantly. Love America. Let's read something real quick. There's a cracker by the name of Rick Santorum. I believe he was a senator. Now he's just, you know, a conservative idiot. Rick Santorum's divisive remarks regarding the origins of the United States and Native American culture have prompted calls for the senior CNN political commentator and former senator to be terminated from the network. So what he said was, just giving you bringing you up to speed on, is he's talking to one of his one of these private white things, which we're gonna get into that, but one of these private white entities, and he's explaining the history of America and how America was founded by white people through their faith and religious freedoms. So what he was saying is white people built America with a blank, it was like a blank slate. They came over here, there was nothing. That's what he said. They came over here, was nothing, and those white religious people fleeing religious persecution was able to start a society, a Judeo-Christian society, a white American Judeo-Christian society for white people by white people. And his comment was this: there's no Native American culture in the founding of America. None. And you get mad at the ISUPK under Commander General Yohanna when we look at you dead in your eye like this and tell you the white man is the devil the Bible speaks of. Not because he's red, which he is, not because some of them have tails, but because he is a deceiver and he constantly lies. This is why slavery in school is called the Great Migration. This is why he'll say there's no Native American culture in America. First of all, you animal, you conveniently leave out that your people murdered the culture that was here. Your people destroyed the culture that was here. And you're going to brag about having a blank start? White people built America? If it wasn't for the natives, you wouldn't know how to survive on the land, dum-dum. Because you ran into people who love God and didn't want to treat you like the animal you are and helped you. You couldn't wait to become strong enough to put smallpox, to rape, to murder, to kill, to sign a treaty and break every one of them. And you have the nerve as a general census of white people to say, we built it with no help. The Native Americans have nothing to do with this. And you say it proudly. And just because you're caught, that white guilt wants you fired because they don't want to be figured out themselves. That's the problem, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Those other white people just don't want to be told on. It's not that they disagree with what he said. This is why they celebrate Thanksgiving, the murder of Native Indians, because they don't care about Native Indians. Man. But it's bad for business. It's bad to have Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians mad at white people. Because now we're not going to go spend, well, we will, because we blindly follow. But in their opinion, they don't even want us to come close to not spending billions of dollars on grits. Billions of dollars on McDonald's. Billions of dollars on Italian designs, cars, and every trinket. These companies don't want a white man to say that. Privately, of course. But when it gets out and it's leaked, he has to pay for it. Because now you're bad for business. It's just like the old crack dealer, man. The old crack dealer, you know, don't like the one nigga that like to beat up crackheads at the crack house. He don't like that. He think it's hilarious. He don't care about no crackhead, but it's bad for business. Well, it's bad for the white man's business, man. It's terrible for the white man's business. To hear that white people really believe that black people have done nothing, Native Indians have done nothing, that the white man built America. Great white religious freedom fighters built America. This is why they demand you stand for a Pledge of Allegiance and a Star-Spangled Funky Banner that's a racist song towards you. It's a racist song towards black people. And they still want you to stand for it because they know you will. If every black man said to hell with football and basketball, the white man would go crazy because he doesn't want to lose billions, but he understands that there's only a few troublemakers. There's only a few of you. The rest of you, I love America. I love everybody. All he had to do was stand. It's our country. It's for the military. No, nigga, the song is about your death. The third verse is speaking about you can run, but you can't hide, pretty much. But you blindly follow those people designed to destroy you and your people and your family. Period. The Constitution was written by white men who hate black people. They went through Jim Crow, and we know the history. Well, when America so-called helped the Iraqis get their land, guess what they said? Y'all don't have to live under that Constitution because that Constitution was written by people who hate you. You don't have to go by the amendments Saddam Hussein made to include the Shia Muslim, who was the majority, and Saddam coming from the Sunni minority. But Saddam tried to have parts of the Iraqi constitution include the Shia. That's why the Shia and the Sunni weren't killing each other in Iraq until, of course, the white man got involved. But he told the Shia, he being the white man, you don't have to live under the constitution of a tyrant because that constitution wasn't written for you. That's what they told the Iraqi people. But they make you live under a constitution that was written by people who hate you, who had people to control you. And they had people that will control you, and you will never be nothing. Why? Because they don't even think enough of you to give you the same rights as an Iraqi. No, nigga, you're going to live under this law. You're going to love the fact that the police department who kills black people like it's nothing and get away with it started from the slave patrol. It was created to destroy you and keep you in line and kill you. And they do it today. And you Negroes cry because one officer was charged. First of all, dumb, Once again, he had to be sacrificed because white people don't want you to think they hate you. Look what it took. It took a fight with this man knee on his neck, killing him live on TV. You was nervous. So like I had to get that fly up out of here. But you was nervous. Tyrone, J-Dogs, and all of that, they don't go through that, man. They don't go through that. If there's a murder, they go to trial and they get convicted. Salakia. They get convicted, man. Ain't no wondering what's gonna happen. More than likely, you're gonna have to take a deal. And side note, he ain't been sentenced yet. Stick around for that. Let's read a little more scripture, though. I want to get back into that fatherhood because it's so important for Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men who, of course, get a bad rap. We are good fathers because, of course, we love our children and we get the bad rap. According to the, I believe it's the CDC, when they did a study, white men are the worst fathers. They leave their children more than Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians put together. But of course, the stigma, the lie coming from the liar is the Black man. Well, the Black man has to get put back into the home, and he has to, be there for his children. Fatherless children are there's more fatherless white children. I agree. Every Black home needs a Black man. But I disagree when a devil uses it for a talking point to once again make him high and mighty, the worst, and me low, the greatest. Let's go back to the book of Ephesians. We're going to read 6 and 4 this time. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Admonition is the warning. Don't be at odds with your children. We have a bad thing in this country where we throw our children to the wolves at a young age. Italian men, some of the most successful men on this planet, stayed with their mama until they was 40. I ain't saying you got to do that. I'm saying, though, the culture is mama's not trying to throw you to the wolves. Salakia, our mothers are. Boy, you 16. You got 2 more years. And you better get it together, nigga. Because you look out of here. He's a child. He's 16. Every time he leaves that house, his life is in jeopardy. Now he has to add the fact that he may have a matter of months. And then we wonder why they're in jail. Our children should not have that wrath. This is why this is the greatest book ever written. Let me read it again. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Don't be so quick to throw your sons and daughters to the wolves. First, do your job and teach them how to be a child of the Most High before you throw them to the goddamn animals out there, man, who can't wait, who has a bed waiting for them, who has a whole stroll waiting for your daughter. Why? Because there's something in you that you feel they grown now. They don't want to listen to me. They can get the hell out of here. First of all, you monster, you don't listen to the Lord. The hell they want to listen to you for? You listen to the white man. That very enemy they have to fight daily is your master. Nurture them up in the ways and means of the Most High. Teach them they're an Israelite. Teach them they're chosen. Teach them the laws, statutes, and commandments. But first, you got to learn it, man. You got to learn it. The hell you going to kick somebody out in the streets because you was kicked out because your mama was a goddamn fool. I said that. And your daddy was a punk who didn't care nothing about Christ, man. Break the cycle. Be a man that's worthy to be honored. Be an honorable man so that your child isn't provoked to anger, as we'll read, or wrath. Because you're nurturing them up in the ways of their God, not the ways of America. A society that hates them, that wants to victimize them, that wants to see them dead or locked up, and you throw them to them. Animal, man. That's animalistic. Period. Let's go to Proverbs 22:6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. See, teaching your children the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High at a young age, let me tell you something. That will assure that once they're ready to get out on their own and ready to start a family, guess what? They're going to be stuck in those ways of the Lord, man. They're going to be stuck in those ways, deeply rooted, because they seen their father and their mother live it. They seen their father and their mother live it, and they seen the power in it. They seen what their father did during tough times. They seen the strength he brought to their mother when everybody didn't understand. This side's upset, this side's upset, everybody's in turmoil, everybody's spoiled, everybody's so upset because of this and upset of that. But the father didn't waver. He continued serving the Lord. He didn't go out start smoking weed. He didn't go out start chasing hoes. He didn't start committing crimes. He didn't do any of these things. He steadfast in loving the Lord. That is an example of examples, because you showed it through action, not just this. That child will respect that, because when they get tough, I remember daddy, man. Daddy wasn't biting into none of that bullshit, man. Daddy looked at y'all like y'all was crazy. He continued serving the Lord, man. He continued loving y'all, and he never left. He sat there and fought with you, and he put up with your miserableness. But daddy loved Christ. Daddy loved Christ so much that daddy used that example of Christ. That is a father that is honorable and should be honored, because the honoring of him is honoring Christ, because he's an example of Christ, man. Proverbs 22:6, one more time. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Now I'm going to Psalms 103:13. By example, man, these children see us struggle and fight. If I have to go to the room, man, I just need a blunt. Guess what? You're teaching your child to give up. If you say something else, I'm going to just whoop y'all ass. You're training your child to give up. I'm finna go out here on the block, get drunk with the homies and kick it. You're training your child to give up. Let your child say, you know what? I ain't trying to hear that. I'm about to go get ready for class. I got to go to class. I got to teach class. I got to help a brother set up class. I got to do whatever it is, but I got to do the work of the Lord. And that's what it's telling you. That's training up a child, teaching, not just talking, but showing a child by your actions. Psalms 103:13, like as a father pitieth his children, so the Lord pitieth them that fear him. Listen, it's an honor to have someone that pitieth you. I understand in the white man society, I don't need your pity. I don't need it. Guess what? You go ahead and be as white as you want to be. I pitieth my children. The Lord pitieth me because I fear him, like I want my children to righteously fear me. Righteously fear. Because your child should know my father serves the Lord. Your wife, your sister, your brother, everyone should know he serves the Lord. I'm not messing with that man. I'm trying to hinder that man. I'm not going to do it. The Lord got that man on a mission. I'm not getting in the way of that. I'll help him because I know the Lord's with him. And the only way you're going to know the Lord's with somebody is by their actions, man. Not by this. Reverend Hot Sauce does this. And Jesus and the Lord, all of that, that's talk. It's not actions. That's why your church has had a building fund for 40 years and got new tile on the carpet. That's it. Salakia, new tile in the cafeteria. That's it. Let's read Colossians 3:21. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. Black women, let me talk to you, because you're such a beautiful being, man. The Most High is not playing. Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women are just, they motivation, man. And your physical beauty, to me, I've learned in this truth, is an added bonus. But when you got a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian woman that is right with the Most High, has the spirit of the Most High, good night, man. And happens to be fine, beautiful, whatever. It's the Lord confirming you're chosen, confirming you're everything, man. I don't give a damn how fine a heathen is. They could never have the spirit of the Lord. They just fine and stupid, fine and troublesome, fine and nothing. Just got physical attributes, which every man, if you're a man, get the hell out of here. The physical attributes mean nothing once you're tired of this. But Black woman, we should never want to be an enemy to our children. It's very discouraging, especially in a time where Black men are mama's boys and Black women are white men women. Slakia. You got the spirit of the white man, you just do. Not all, but those in the Christian world, those in the world is who I'm speaking of. You're so terrible to your children, and it's so discouraging. Now Tyrone want to shoot the block up because that's all he knows. All he knows is anger. He gets mad like mama. That nigga that nigga playing. So he want to come back and dome this man, shoot this man in the head. Because he doesn't know how to deal with him as a man. He doesn't know how to go to him and him alone. Like I told you, the Bible has everything we need in it to survive. He doesn't know how to be like, hey man, check this out, man. Let me holler at you. Let's get away from your homies and my homies. Let me talk to you real quick. Maybe I misunderstood, but I ain't like what you just said, man. You know, and I'm coming at you in a respectful way because you're a man like me. But I was offended when you said that, you know, and I could be wrong. You gain a brother, man. Not no, oh, is that right? Right. Everybody in LA know what that means. On the West Coast, I should say. When nigga be like, what you say? Oh, you said, oh, right. That means I'm about to come back and air it out. That's gay. That's effeminate. That's what women do. Oh, what you say? Oh, okay. All right. Remember you said that, nigga. Remember you said that, little nigga. That's what mama teaches you. It's the way women act. It's not the way men act. Stop provoking your children to anger, man. Stop thinking you're so independent that you're going to raise your child by yourself and you're going to raise someone that's going to spend the rest of their life in prison after they take another man's life. You brought death and destruction on the earth is what you did. Because you're independent, you don't need no man. Yeah, you do. You at least need God, and God is a man of war. But if you can't raise that man, get him into the I.S.U.P.K and the Commander General Yohanna. We'll make sure he never kills anybody unless it's self-defense. We'll make sure he never sees his brother as a threat, but as just someone lost. And at the end of the day, he might have to walk away from him. We ain't punks now. Don't get us wrong. We ain't no punks. We ain't gonna just sit there and run from you because you think you just, you know. But de-escalation is what we will try. It's true brotherhood. It's true manhood to be able to de-escalate instead of causing that death and destruction. That right? You're able to be like, you know what, brother? I think you got me wrong. I mean you no harm, black man. And I apologize, man. I didn't mean it the way you obviously taking it. Most High in Christ, though, brother. Stay safe out here. After that, if I got to defend myself, I will. But I'll de-escalate that, man. I got to excuse I'm in a live neighborhood over here, so you're going to hear kids playing and things of that nature, but you're also going to hear the truth of the Most High, man. So now, you know, being that father, being that strong example, and being honorable is very important. But let's get back to what I was talking about earlier about just being amongst our enemies, man. I'm gonna shut this window, Salakia. But just being amongst our enemies. And being amongst our enemies, you got to understand something. If you are amongst them, you are subject to the same punishments. You are subject to the same destruction, man. You're subject to that. And when it comes to being Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, we don't want to be subject to that. I'm serious, you don't, man. You do not want to be subject to that. Because you're going to die like they die. You're going to suffer like they suffer, but it's going to be on a whole nother level because you don't have the protection of your father. They have the protection of their father. Satan is doing a great job protecting the white man. He gives them bombs, and you know, now they got the robot army. Study that. They got the robot army that they're going to bring in where they want to bring out human thought. Because they did a study during World War II. And a lot of those soldiers said they would shoot over the head because they didn't want to kill those other white men. Let's face it, those weren't Africans or Israelites they were fighting. They were fighting their fellow white men. And that's why when they captured them, the Germans could eat with the white people, but the niggas that was fighting with the white people couldn't eat with the white people. They let the enemy soldiers eat with them, but the blacks couldn't, who was fighting on their same side. They want to take that away. They want robots. They won't. Listen, you're going to die being amongst them, acting like them, talking like them, being like them, wanting to be a part of their movement, their government, their religion, wanting to follow Satan like them. You're going to die a horrible death. They're going to flourish. They can go to sleep at night with children missing. You shouldn't be able to. It should be something you're never able to do. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 48 and 22. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. There is no peace, man. Rape, pillage, murder, overweight, obesity, death, heart attacks, AIDS, corona. I mean, you name it. You go to the mall, some crazy white animal is liable to go in there and shoot everybody up. You go to work, somebody's mad because they got fired and they want to kill everybody. You're amongst them. Those are your people now. Let me read it again. There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked. None. All of their societies are wicked and evil. Case in point, man, this is what kills me about the world. The ghetto, which is actually a term used for old hook-nosed fake Jew projects and their living situation, is a direct replica of white America. The Jordan Downs is a black project only because black people live there. It's named after a white man. The whole system and everything that goes on in the projects in the black neighborhood is a direct replica of white America. Watch this movie called Gangs of New York. Watch that movie. The dope house, the codeine and the coke house. Back in those days, the marijuana, the what's that they used to smoke? The peyote, and all of the different things they used to do was in the white projects, and they had the dope man. We took on those attributes. They're not ours. We've added some swag and our ways to it because we're the cream of the planet Earth. Everything we do is the greatest. I don't care how bad or good it is. Everything we do is great and able to be romanticized by white America. Simple shit, hat to the back, is all over the world right now. We're special people, but we're doing special things that we were taught. White people did drive-bys with semi-automatic weapons. Not us. We took on that attribute. White people had dope houses. White people were pimps with the whole house, with the whole stroll. Don't do what the heathens do. Don't go where the pagans go. Don't say what they say. Get as far away from them as you possibly can, or face death like them. Because we no longer have the Lord hearing our prayers and as our protectors. So it's so dangerous and volatile the way we die. Do you know how special and beautiful you are? That the most powerful force known. Says don't eat a scavenger. Don't eat an ocean shit eater. Don't eat it. You're better than that. Don't eat a pink animal that will eat you alive. Don't eat it. You're special. You can eat all of this. But you want to listen to your white daddy. You want to go to Joe's Crab Shack and you want to eat ocean cockroaches, ocean bugs. You want to eat swine. Such a disgusting meat. Well, you know it has the worm that can't be cooked. You know all of these things. Whether it kills you like that or not, it doesn't matter. The meat has worms, man. And you're going to listen to your enemy. Over your father. Because you don't honor your father. You should. So that your days are long. You should break that cycle and be a father that honors a father that makes you honorable. Let's go to Ephesians 6 and 12. This is a very important scripture, what I'm talking about. I'm going to get into Alec in a minute. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. With that, I want you all to learn about the American Legislative Exchange Council. It's a nonprofit organization of conservative state legislators and the private sector representatives who draft and share model legislation for distribution among state governments in the United States. So there's an organization that has state legislators and the private sector, which is corporations, coming together to draft laws that help the white corporate entity and the white rule of law. We're talking trillions of dollars. This is not a carnal war, man. This is a war of principalities and evil, wicked animals in high places that is fighting against you and your love of the devil, man. Let me continue reading. ALEC, ALEC, American Legislative Exchange Council. This is so evil. Provides a forum for state legislators and private sector members to collaborate on model bills, draft legislation that members may customize and introduce for debate in their own state legislators. ALEC has produced model bills on a broad range of issues, such as reducing regulation and individual and corporate taxation, combating illegal immigration, loosen environmental, once again, regulation, tightening voter identification rules, weakening labor unions, and of course, opposing gun control. Some of these bills dominate legislative agendas in states such as Arizona, Wisconsin, Colorado, Michigan, New Hampshire, and Maine. Approximately 200 model bills became law each year. Now, first of all, they'll separate church and state, but they don't want to separate state and private corporations. How do you think Stand Your Ground was passed? ALEC. Because they said you shouldn't have to run when a black man comes at you. You should be able to kill him. We'll read it in a minute. And the corporations that are a part of ALEC today are scary. But you should see the corporations that was with them publicly before. When they got outed, of course, these are nigger corporations and they need that nigger dollar. So they erase ties, which I know they didn't erase the money. They just erased the public ties. So let's read a little more. It says ALEC's activities, while legal, received public scrutiny after news reports from outlets such as the New York Times and Bloomberg Business described ALEC as an organization that gave corporate interests outsized influence. These are the fake Jews mad at the racist white people. Bloomberg, New York Times. These are the fake Jews that said, you know what? We're going to out you racist white people because you don't want our you don't want our Jew dollar. ALEC, ALEC, was founded in 1973 in Chicago as the conservative caucus of state legislators, a project initiated by Mark Rhodes, an Illinois State House staffer, to counter the Environmental Protection Agency, wage and price control, and to respond to the defeat of Barry Goldwater in the 1964 presidential election. Story within itself. I'm going to continue reading. Conservative legislators felt the word conservative was unpopular with the public at the time. However, so the organization was renamed as the American Legislative Exchange Council with the support of the American Conservative Union. ALEC registered as a federal non-profit agency. Okay, so this just goes on to tell you the history of ALEC. And it goes on to say in the 1980s, Matthew Lewis Bologna opposed U.S. disinvestment from South Africa, a move to put pressure on the South African government to embark on negotiations. ALEC didn't want that because ALEC is a racist organization And I'll read right here how the Koch brothers, K-O-C-H, do your research. These are billionaire brothers. I believe one of them died. But these are billionaire brothers who have been fighting for white supremacy, man. And they put their billions and billions into it. And you're following it, man. You're loving it. Let me read this. In July 2011, The Nation published a series of articles produced in collaboration with the Center for Media and Democracy, CMD, that showcased some of ALEC model bills and described ties to the Koch family, K-O-C-H. And CMD launched a website, ALEC Exposed, that documented more than 800 of ALEC model bills, the legislators and corporations that had helped to draft them, and the states that enacted them. So these, like I said, are fake Jews who are scared of that fringe form of white supremacy. The white supremacists themselves, but they're afraid of that other fringe part of white supremacy because it doesn't include them. The shooting of Trayvon Martin on February 26, 2012 led to the increased public attention on Stand Your Ground, gun laws, that ALEC supported and got put into law. Color of Change launched a new campaign in April to pressure ALEC corporate members to withdraw. More than 60 corporations and foundations, including. This was before they were exposed in 2012, and it didn't say they stopped funding money. So I'm not saying these companies stop funding money, but know that these companies that I am about to read supported white supremacy. Blatant white supremacy, conservative law to keep Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians as subservients, and them up here. Let me read them. Coca-Cola. This is the time where they had Tyrese singing on the bus. That nigga sang about Coke, had every nigga wanting a Coke. A former Coke dealer is what Coca-Cola is. Wendy's. Kraft Foods. Here's the big one, y'all. And I know you don't want to hear it. Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. McDonald's. Yeah. McDonald's is white supremacist, y'all. Amazon.com. White supremacist. General Electric. White supremacist. Right in Kentucky, I stay right across the street from their plant. White supremacist. Apple. White supremacist. Brag about your iPhone, nigga. Brag about it. Procter and Gamble. And here's another one I know you don't want to hear. Your rib don't want to hear this. Walmart. And here is the big one. Bill and Melinda Gates, who getting a divorce. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. In Seattle, if you Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, they'll kill you for saying something bad about Bill and Melinda Gates. They put computers in the public. They did all this stuff for Black people. Why they did that? They supported white supremacy. And the medical insurance group Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Alec privately supported so much white supremacy, killed so many Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, created so many laws. That's why they're able to pass these voting laws today, because of Alec. That's why Florida, Georgia, these conservative groups are able to have the money and the backing to pass these laws, is because of groups like this. And you niggas want Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians to vote and support a system that is killing them, man. Look up that nigga Tim Scott. He said America's not racist. That's what a Black man said about America. It's not racist. And he'll never tell you about Alec, but he knows about it. And he'll fix his mouth to say it's not racist. The book of Revelations, chapter 21, verse 8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers and whoremongers and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars shall have their part in the lake with burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. The Lord is going to destroy you all through thermonuclear war. You're going to die. That's what's going to happen to you, because you don't want to hear about Alec and separate spiritually from this animal. You want to hear about Alec and say, America's not racist. You want to hear about Alec and say, voting is my right. Voting is my power, not God. God's not your power. And God will teach you to never vote, but to separate yourself from them and be of a child of the Most High only. Let Trump and the Trumpites win. They're only a Trump because they're you. Let me say that differently. There's only a Donald Trump because there's a you. Someone who thinks the Constitution is about them. Someone who thinks America loves them. That's why there's a Trump. They would have never considered a trivial idiot like that. But since you think you're American, they're going to make America great again. They're going to go back to a time where you knew you weren't American. You separated. You had your own banks, hospitals, colleges. And I understand the white man had to destroy that. But you know why they were able to? You were Black Christians, God damn it. They don't want to talk about it. Black Wall Street was Black Christians. If there was Israelites, them white punks would have, them planes would have got shot out the sky. Them white mobs would have been destroyed. And Black Wall Street will be here today. The richest nation on the planet with the most powerful military, the most powerful structure. But since they was Christians, the white man was able to destroy it because the white man is the God of Christianity, man. That's his shit. And if that's you, you're subject to that destruction. Black Wall Street, under the control of Commanding General Yohanna, would never have a plane fly over it and drop a bomb. It'll be shot down. It'll be destroyed. And any white mob or army that raises themselves against it will be chopped the hell down and destroyed. I don't give a damn what weapon they bring. Because there's nothing more greater than Yahweh Shah Mashiach. The white man is an animal, and we blindly follow him. Last scripture, Proverbs 25 and 26. A righteous man falling down before the wicked is as a troubled fountain and a corrupt spring. It's disgusting for a righteous man to fall down and bow down to these animals. In other words, the Bible's telling you to become righteous. Get in class. If you in Kentucky, we got a powerful camp leader in Kentucky, Officer Ryan. I wish, Ryan, let me tell you something. I wish I had a full class to give you a hand, and I'm going to give you a hand, sir. Get with Officer Ryan on Facebook, however you do, and you get into Kentucky's class. You get into this Slakia. You get into this fold to fight against Alec, to fight against the white man, who's the devil the Bible speak of, man. Because you don't have to be colored in Kentucky any longer. There's black men here who will teach you how to be black, not colored. And when I say black, it's a condition. That condition is strength once you come unto the Lord. It's not a crutch like it is in Christianity. I'm black. I'm black. You don't like me because I'm black. Everything that happens to you is because you're black. Guess what? Everything great that happens to me is because I'm black. I'm in this condition, and I got myself out of it. You can do it in Kentucky. You don't have to think everybody black is bad. You don't have to believe that the Mexicans is your enemy. It's a different Mexican in Kentucky, Slovakia. These are not the Mexicans in California. These are not the Mexicans in California who know they niggas. I've dealt with Mexicans out here. I'm white. I'm white. According to federal outline, I white. And they're right. Federal, they consider Hispanic white people. You know why? They don't want them to connect with you. They don't want the house of Judah and the other tribes to come together as one, because there's nothing that can stop us. So they'll tell Salakia, they'll tell Jaime out here, you white. So I'm no foreman, you work for me, but we don't hire niggers. We don't hire niggers. You and your family, you can have the house and you can do this in Kentucky, just no black people. Be enemies. And then secretly get with Alec and have immigration bills where he can't bring his family. Boss, I can't bring family. Why? Oh, you know, politics. And man, the white man is the devil. And we got work to do in Kentucky. Because I'm going to fight for these Hispanics out here. They is not like my niggas in Cali. It's different. But that don't mean that I can't fight for them. With that, I'm going to end this class, and I'm going to end it by saying we are blindly guided by the very people who want to destroy us. They hate you. The I.S.U.P.K and the Commander General Yahanna has the outline since 1969 to make sure you persevere through it. With that, I'm going to say shalom, Lord of Christ, to all of Israel. The I.S.U.P.K under Commander General Yahanna is real. Get with us, man. Shalom.